Good afternoon, everyone. I want to tell you guys a story. Audrey Keeler was known throughout her small community of Strasburg, Virginia. She taught at school for 31 years, and everyone knew Miss Keeler as tough as nails but sweet as could be. She raised 3 generations of little girls and some little boys. No matter how old she got, even after she became widowed, her chores still got done and her love was still shared. She was the best great-grandmother that a little girl could ever have. Because she was so tough, we didn't really think anything of it when she started forgetting where she placed different things and getting lost when she drove or walked somewhere. And if only we'd known that she was starting to suffer Alzheimer's. Because in the course of a couple years, the Mimi that we knew and loved has spiraled and all but disappeared completely because of this awful disease. Many senior citizens suffer from it, and it causes them to lose their memory and change their behavior drastically. According to the Alzheimer's Association, an estimated 5.2 million senior citizens have the disease this year alone. To understand Alzheimer's and what it does and better do something about it, we need to try to understand some of the statistics, and hopefully that can lead us to a cure someday. Alzheimer's is the most common form of dementia, which is basically just a fancy way of saying memory loss and changes in behavior. It occurs most often in people ages 65 and older, but there are some cases, especially with people who've had Alzheimer's in their family in past generations, that develop it as early as their 40s or 50s. We're wondering if that happened to my great-grandmother because her mom had Alzheimer's. Conditions will worsen over time no matter what you do. And early, moderate, and advanced stages, the earliest symptom is simply forgetting newly learned information because it affects the part of your brain that helps you learn stuff. As the disease intensifies, it can lead to more advanced symptoms like disorientation, mood and behavior changes that can become violent, confusion about where you are or what time it is, what day it is, month, whatever, unfounded suspicion of others. This actually happened a lot in the early stages of my great-grandmother's Alzheimer's. She thought people were stealing from her, when really she would just misplace things and not know where they were. Difficulty speaking, swallowing, and walking, and eventually the brain will cause the organs to shut down and they'll die. They just won't know how to live anymore. Their brain won't work to tell parts of their body, this is what you need to do to keep this person alive. Eventually it'll just stop. Some basic information and statistics is that more than 5 million Americans are living with the disease. That's really sad. Alzheimer's disease is the 6th leading cause of death in the U.S., and it's the only one of the top 10 that has no cure, and there are approximately 500,000 people dying from it each year. Approximately 200,000 individuals younger than age 65 have the younger onset version. Sorry about this, ladies. Almost 2/3 of the American seniors and some of the early onset is women. Women get this more than men. There are still men that get it, but of the 5 million people ages 65 and older with Alzheimer's, 3.2 million are women and 1.8 million are men. Sorry about that. In the future, deaths from Alzheimer's disease since 2000 to 2010 have increased 68%. That's a really scary number. They're saying that because of baby boomers growing up, that number will triple in the coming generations, to the point that there's a possibility that it may be quite a while before we find the cure for it because people are getting it faster than the cure can be studied. And since each person's symptoms are similar yet different, it's hard to study and fix the disease. So by 2050, the number of people ages 65 and older, because of baby boomers, will triple. It's already been set in stone. That's going to happen because right now there's no cure, unfortunately. That's the sad truth. Alzheimer's disease is the only cause of death that doesn't have a cure. So right now all we can do is hope. The rapidly increasing number of sufferers may prevent the cure or even the control because there's medicines that they put in place to control the disease, but it's never going to stop it. The disease, for each person it's different, but the disease can increase really rapidly to the point that you won't even be able to control it. I mean, now, if you catch it in the early stages, you may be able to control it a little, but you're never going to totally take it away, or at least not now. So what can be done? One of the main things you should do is get checked by a doctor as early as you possibly can. If you even have a suspicion that you might have this disease, whether it be through family history or just the fact that you're starting to forget things, believe me, you should get checked as soon as possible. Because maybe if we had, we would have been able to help Mimi more. Early diagnosis and intervention methods are getting better. But again, there's only so much that can be done. Sources of support like going to a special facility or getting some kind of almost like a hospice care can help a lot more than people give it credit for. In order to understand Alzheimer's and what is being done to find the cure, we have to better understand what exactly happens. And granted, there's no real way that we can know exactly what's going to happen, but through early detection and just simple caring for the person, we can hopefully try to bring about a cure sooner or later. Because according to the Alzheimer's Association, as bad as the numbers are now, they're only going to get worse. So many senior citizens are suffering from this awful disease, causing them to forget who they are or who their loved ones are. During this speech, at least 4 people have developed Alzheimer's, 1 every 6 to 7 seconds. They don't have a cure yet, but maybe someday a little girl's Mimi will remember how special she was, how loved she was, and how many lives she touched, and she won't have to forget who she is. No one should forget that they were loved. Thank you very much.